New year, new music, new list. These are our favorite albums from 2019 so far. LUCKI, Freewave 3. So out of all the albums on this list, the one that I'm playing the most right now is definitely LUCKI's Freewave 3. LUCKI is a 21-year-old underground rapper from Chicago, and he's friends with the likes of Earl Sweatshirt, who's also featured on this album with production credits. And I just want to say, right off the bat, if you're a Playboi Carti fan, if you're a diehard, this is definitely the album for you. This record delivers on all aspects. The beats are fantastic and super psychedelic. The production is also great, and the delivery and the cadence from LUCKI himself, coupled with his subtle approach to nuanced storytelling, I think really comes together.
Recoup that advance, like give me better. Treat it like a jet, not a sports car.
Ventura by Anderson .Paak. Just a few months after the release of Oxnard, Anderson .Paak announced that he would be releasing a new album in April of 2019. With such a quick follow-up, some were expecting Ventura to just be full of tracks that didn't make the cut for Oxnard. Instead, Paak delivers something completely different. Ventura focuses much more on Paak's R&B and soul talents. It's fun, funky, and a great album to put on while summer lasts.
Jet black hair, baby, jet black hair. Matte black Jeep with the Rubicon grill. Ooh, it's been a while, baby, don't go there.
Little Simz, Gray Area. For those of you who don't already know, Little Simz is a 24-year-old English rapper, singer, and actress. Her debut album came out in 2015, and for me, she totally flew under the radar. With this record, I can really see why she's received such praise from legends like Kendrick Lamar and Lauryn Hill. If you're an R&B or a hip-hop fan, this record will surprise you like it did me. From the buttery smooth flows to the fantastic sung R&B tracks, nearly everything on this LP is 100% enjoyable. There's tons of great storytelling, songwriting, instrumental palettes, and great production to boot. All in all, I have to say, if you're a hip-hop fan, don't skip out on this record. This is a fantastic record, not only for hip-hop and music, but for female artists in general.
Till now, I'd never been the selfish type. Till now, I'd never told nobody no. Don't get it twisted, this shit didn't happen overnight.
Hiding Places by Billy Woods and Kenny Segal. East Coast meets West Coast on this collaborative effort between New York rapper Billy Woods and Los Angeles producer Kenny Segal. Hiding Places is incredibly unique and demands your attention from start to finish, exploring themes of morality, fear, and doubt. It's dark, abstract, and a perfect album to listen to at night.
Karate, summer, dirt bikes and Kawasaki's, numbers Fibonacci, overseas connection choppy.
J. Paul, Leak, 0413, Bait Ones. For those of you who aren't familiar with J. Paul, the short synopsis of his entire musical career kind of runs like this. He started posting music on his MySpace in early 2007, and a few years pass and he builds an immense cult following off of basically unfinished demo tracks, and he amassed such hype for a debut album that this album actually was leaked in 2013. And the unofficial leaking of this project ultimately led to Jay distancing himself from music altogether. And that was 5 years ago. It's been 5 years of total radio silence up until just a few months ago, when J. Paul pretty much rose from the grave and dropped this leaked album officially on all streaming platforms with higher production value and a few less samples. I remember just looking at a Reddit post of people freaking out and wondering what this project was, and the hype around this project alone, still in 2019, caused me to check it out, and I will say I'm so happy I did. In 2013, it was heralded as the future of music to come. And nearly 6 years later, I honestly feel like that still holds up. Everything on here seems so fresh and innovative, and even today, it feels way ahead of its time.
Bandana by Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. The last album these two artists made together was Pinata, which is widely considered to be one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever made. It stands to reason that when they announced they were linking up again for a new album this year, they created a ton of hype. They had a lot to live up to, and they delivered. Bandana is phenomenal. Madlib's production is hypnotic and serves as a perfect backdrop to Freddie's impassioned delivery. On top of that, we get some great features from Pusha T and Anderson .Paak, among others. This is a project you're not going to want to miss out on. Check it out.
The hoe that you brought out to Cali, but she only fucking with you cause you fucking with Kane. Thought she was losing her credit with niggas like you that just ain't.
Vampire Weekend, Father the Bride. It's really no secret to a lot of people who know me, but Vampire Weekend is actually one of my favorite bands of all time. And to have a new Vampire Weekend record after numerous years of waiting feels kind of like a fever dream, but it's definitely paid off in my opinion. A lot of people have compared this album to kind of like a Beatles White Album. It's kind of a smorgasbord of a bunch of different sounds and textures, some of which that are familiar to Vampire Weekend, but a lot of which are entirely new territory. Ezra's songwriting is as strong as ever, and the instrumentation and a lot of the fantastic producers that were a part of this project really brought it to life. And just like any other Vampire Weekend record, it's fun, it's light, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, so it's a perfect summer listen for 2019.
Sacred sign, Coca-Cola and red wine. Now's the time.
Titanic Rising by Weyes. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this album. The more I listen to it, the more I love it. It's easily the best art pop album of the year so far. Natalie Merring has an incredible voice, and every track has a sentimental feel. It gave me a feeling of nostalgia on the very first listen. Every time I listen to it, it puts me in a great mood, which is why it's my go-to album in the morning. Start your day off right and check this one out. You won't regret it.
Tyler, the Creator, Igor. Truthfully, at this point, I don't think there's anything else that I can say about this record that hasn't already been said better before, but if you're asking my opinion, this is Tyler's best project to date, without a doubt. When I first heard Igor up until now, honestly, all I can think is that it is the pure embodiment of hip-hop in 2019. It's something that calls back to its roots, but is something new entirely, and it really doesn't abide to labels per se.
Take one look in the mirror, implications so clear. I live life with no fear, except for the idea.
Trust in the Life Force of the Deep Mystery by The Comet is coming. Ahead of going to Bonnaroo this year, I wanted to check out as many artists in the lineup as possible. One of those artists was The Comet is Coming. I didn't know what to expect when I started this album, and after listening, I still struggle to describe it. It's like jazz, but unlike any jazz I've ever heard. It combines jazz with electronic music and draws inspiration from psychedelics, rock, and funk music. It sounds exactly like how the album cover looks, and upon discovering it, I became obsessed. I had it on repeat for about 2 weeks straight. Seeing them live only further solidified this as my favorite album of the year so far.
What are some of your favorite albums from 2019? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to have a discussion. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more music-related content. If you'd like to support us further, please consider checking out our podcast and Patreon, linked in the description. And as always, thanks so much for watching.